Hey everybody, I just wanted to make a video on changing your lug nut studs if you're changing your steel wheels out for aluminum or alloy wheels. First of all, make sure that your car is properly supported with a jack stand. As you can see with these stock studs, I don't have too many threads holding the wheel nut on. So I want to put some longer studs in there so I don't have to worry about my wheels coming off or breaking off a stud. This is a 1960 Chevy Impala that I'm working on. As you can see, those studs, the factory studs, are pretty short. They're 7/16 by 20 thread pattern, and I'm replacing those with a longer stud, same size, 7/16 by 20, but you got a little bit more length here. I've got these from the internet. Actually ordered them through Amazon, and these fit real nice. I only got one bag of 10 to do my rear wheels first because I wasn't sure if these would be the right fit, but they are. They're just what I needed to put aluminum wheels on this 60 Chevy. They're just long enough. They're about 1/4 of an inch longer than the original stud. Okay, we've got our brake drum removed now, and I got an old lug nut with good threads that I threaded onto the stud because I always keep everything and I don't want to mar up the threads on these studs. There's nothing wrong with them, so I always save everything. So anyway, all you do is you thread that nut on till it's flush with the end of the stud, and you give it a wallop with a hammer. Once it pushes through, thread the nut off, take the stud out from the back side, just like so. As you can see, the new stud bolt is about 1/4 of an inch longer than the old one. The knurl looks different, but it fits just fine. You want to put just a little dab of lube on this knurled part and insert it from the back side. Put a little lube on it. Well, it's a lot of lube, but anyway, you really don't want lube on your threads if you can avoid it. So I'm going to put that stud in from the back side, put me a flat washer on there. Then I'm going to turn my lug nut backwards so that you've got the flat part of the nut resting against that flat washer. I'm going to put my impact on there. I'm going to draw it in. Stops, and you can look at the back side to ensure that the base of the stud is pulled up tight. You don't want to leave a gap in there. Then zip the nut back off. Remove the washer, and you go to your next stud. Point out that the reason that I use this washer is because if you look, these studs actually have a little bit of the knurl that sticks through the flange of the hub, and you want to make sure that these bolts are drawn all the way through. If you don't, it'll cause your wheels to work loose. So that's why I use the washers, to make sure that it draws all the way up. Drum brakes, you're going to have one or two that you can't get the stud out because it's in the way of the wheel cylinder or what have you. So just put the car in neutral, give the hub, the axle flange, a little turn there, and it pulls right out, and then put your new one in. When you get done with that nut that you used to pull those in, throw it away. You don't want to reuse that nut for any reason. Of course, the nuts we're putting back on are our chrome lug nut that we bought with the wheels. Anyway, but that old nut, you don't want to use it anymore. All of our studs drawn in now. We're going to slide our hub back on and install the wheel. See, we've got quite a bit more thread on our new stud sticking through that wheel. The old ones were so short I could barely get the nut started, but this one I can get the nut started. I want to run it up 2 or 3 threads before I put a wrench on it to make sure it's not cross-threaded or anything. We've got our car back on the ground. We've got our wheel lugs just snugged up. Now we want to use a torque wrench, and we want to torque those lugs to specs. And then once you drive the car a couple of miles or so, you're going to want to re-torque those, and then after about 25 miles you want to re-torque them again, just to make sure that if the stud wasn't drawn up properly, that recheck with the torque is going to make sure that everything stays snugged up the way it should be. Point out that the wheel that was originally on the car was a 14-inch, I believe by 5-inch wide stock wheel, and I replaced them with an American Racing 17 by 7 inches wide, with no issues other than the lug studs needed to be about 1/4 of an inch longer. Okay, we've got our car back on the ground. The lug nuts are torqued. Make sure you always torque your lugs according to the manufacturer's specification of the wheel. Thank you for watching.